check. You're going to get some more. Apologize for that, but it's one of my favorite cashmere sport coats, so I'm going to wear it anyway. I was wearing it when I got back, and I saw this video, and I've got to comment on this video and a few other things. And Clive might be in later. Before I forget, I'm going to give him a link to come in if he decides. You're going to hear ringing. Don't worry about the ringing, because that's just calling Clive, and then I'm going to copy the link and send it to him in case he decides to come in. So, link. Okay. All right. So if he comes in, he'll have that link, and I'm going to go ahead and text him while you all are coming in. I'm going to go ahead and text him and let him know that I sent him the link. Okay. And I'll probably trim some of this off of the video, because we're actually started about a minute or two early. And let me see who's on here. Excuse me. Well, where's my H2O? I'm going to have to get the H2O too. I need that. I'm going to need to drink something. Okay, so let me see if I can find this video. Okay, there it is. We'll see who's in the house so far, and just say hello, and then we'll get started here. There we go. There we go. There's some folks in the chat. Yeah, and you can just pop in whenever you can. I've got to go get my H2O. Let's check to the stunner. I'll be right back. Bless you. Bless me. Whoa. Okay, a little spark when I touch the mic. Static electricity. It's not good around electronics. Okay. All right, so this is a special broadcast. I wasn't really planning on doing this, but I was kind of pissed off. So I guess it's better to be pissed off than to be pissed on. And while we're waiting for Clive to come in, let me get my headset so that I'll be able to hear the video too, because I'm going to play a little video that a gentleman put up a couple days ago, and we're going to talk about this because this is important, I think. Okay. All right. Before I get into that, looking good. Oh, thank you. Reading the description, wear the watch you like. Okay. Looking sharp. I'll be brief. That's Clive. Clivers. Whatever floats your boat. We all have a common hobby passion. You can howl until you're blue in the face about quality of the GS. I'm not buying any of it. I shall never own a GS in my collection ever. Okay, there you go. I believe all modern watches are all improving on quality. Okay, maybe GS is great. Thanks for the show. Okay. All right, so this could apply to all watch brands, not just Grand Seiko. Okay. So this show applies and also applies to more things than watches, but we're going to be talking about watches specifically, but it can apply to anything, okay? Because this really burns me up when I see this kind of stuff. And let me find the video here, and then I'll tell you what I'm talking about. And I think some of you guys are going to be able to relate to this. Should have done this before the show, but just got back, and I just kind of in a rush to do this because I haven't eaten dinner, and I'm going to be hungry, so... Okay, so here it is. Here's the video. Let's play just a little bit of this real quick.
Welcome friends to another Stuff Station 1 review from my collection of timepieces and accessories across a broad price range. Items are showcased for their aesthetics, materials, manufacturing or downright quirkiness. Now in today's video I'm going to be covering the execution of the case, the bracelet and the crown of the Grand Seiko SBGA 211, otherwise affectionately...
Okay, so I'm pausing it there. So he's got that nice accent. He sounds like he knows what he's talking about. And this is a multi-part thing and, you know, very official and all of this, right? So you might think that this guy kind of has a clue and might know what he's talking about, right? Craig, have you tried the 40 day date yet? No, I have not. Sharp tie today. Thank you. This is a real oldie. We'll talk about the tie in a minute here. But Brad Tech Webcast is in the house. Sorry, but I'm going back to the Clive show. Well, there you go. I don't blame you. Excuse me. Okay, so we're going to play some snippets of this, and we're going to talk about it. And I think that I think you're going to find this. Some of you might find this to be helpful. So let's play a little more.
Known as the snowflake. Now the actual case of the snowflake for a Grand Seiko is actually quite big. Okay, so it's around 41 millimeters. All right, the thickness of it.
Okay, so here's the first thing. You know, for Grand Seiko it's kind of big. I don't know how many Grand Seikos he's seen, but a lot of them are pretty big. So anyway, we'll let that one slide by.
Is around 12 and a half millimeters, and it is actually fashioned from high intensity titanium, and that ultimately means that it's very light, it's quite comfortable, and it doesn't react badly to the skin in that titanium is hypoallergenic. So you...
Okay, so those are all good points. Okay, so let's go on a little more.
Maybe you'll know that, you know, for surgery, for bone replacements, hip replacements, in surgery they do actually use titanium for that, purely because of its lightweight nature and the fact that, you know, it doesn't react badly to the skin. So the only issue with the titanium is that it is very prone to scratching, and that's a common complaint from a lot of watch enthusiasts and hobbyists.
Okay, so we'll stop right there. Okay, common complaint? The titanium holds up great on the snowflake. I owned one. I wore it. I know. It holds up great. It's holding up great on my diver. Most people I talk to say they're having fantastic results. Now the SBDC 007 is a coated titanium, which is even more durable as far as scratches, but I wore that for 2 years, and that was incredibly durable. But by all accounts, these hold up really well. Now, if you look at other titanium watches, they scratch very easily. They're a different animal, but not necessarily the snowflake. So I don't know where he's getting his information on that. So we'll address that. So let's keep going. It gets worse.
Okay, but this is high intensity titanium, so it has slightly better scratch resistance.
Slightly better. It's a lot better than normal run-of-the-mill titanium. I mean, it's not even a close call. It's a lot better. I've had both. Now,
the choice of titanium, for me, it's quite odd, okay? Because aesthetically...
Okay, so quite odd, the choice of titanium for this particular watch. That's the thing that makes it, is the lightweight. And they also make steel watches. I mean, duh, if you want the steel, buy a steel watch. They have some very similar watches, but let's go on.
Is a very dull color. So
okay,
it contrasts. in my
let's go a little
honest
more.
opinion, in the wrong way, I feel, to the snowflake, and
Now,
to the
let's go a little more.
dial and
I'd
the
stop right there. Okay. Now, his photography, I admit, does make it look a little bit dull, but I had one of these watches. Okay. It's not dull. It's gorgeous. Okay. And everybody that owns it says it's gorgeous. It doesn't look like your typical dull titanium watch. It pretty much looks like stainless steel. I've had it side by side with stainless steel watches, and it's very hard to tell the difference. Now, my diver is a little more, let's cut to the diver real quick. It's a little more, let's do the side shot. It's not quite as bright, I don't think, as the snowflake for some reason, but it still looks very much like a stainless steel watch to most people, and absolutely looks gorgeous. So I don't know what watch he's talking about here, but let's keep going.
famous sort of Zaratsu polishing that the Grand Seiko artisans carry out on Grand Seiko models. It's just a bit too dull looking for me. I think it needs.
I mean, that doesn't look at all dull to me. It looks pretty flashy, to tell you the truth. I don't know if this guy needs his eyes checked or what. I mean, and it gets worse, folks. Let's keep listening.
I understand that the white will sort of play off against it, but titanium for me has always been a bit of a sort of a tooly watch material. So for me, it doesn't quite work. Now, again, the use of titanium, it's so light. It is
So here's the deal. Why did he buy the watch if it doesn't work for him? He claims he bought the watch and paid retail for it, and he says the titanium doesn't work for him. This is very strange. Let's keep going.
Believable. You put this thing on and you do not even realize you're wearing it. And sometimes that can be an issue. It is prone to sort of dings and knocks purely because you move it around so easily without it.
Okay, so now he's claiming, this is really bizarre. This guy knows nothing about physics. He's claiming because it's a lighter watch, you're more likely to ding it. You're more likely to bump it into something because it's a lighter watch. And maybe he's saying because you don't even know you have a watch on. I don't know what he's talking about there, but here's the fact. The fact is a lighter weight watch is going to be, all other things being equal, is going to be less likely to ding because there's less inertia with it when it hits something. If something heavy is moving at a certain speed and it hits a fixed object, which is usually what a watch hits, right? Then it's going to have a certain amount of inertia, a certain amount of force based on its mass. And so the collision force is going to be greater if it was a heavier watch than a lighter watch. This guy needs to learn a little bit about physics. Okay, so let's keep going. I mean, this is just insane. This is almost like this guy's totally trolling, but he's not. He's serious. Let's keep going.
Even realizing it being on your wrist. Maybe the titanium was used to sort of reflect the lightness of snow, because obviously you have that snowflake-like texture of the actual dial itself. So maybe that's why they used titanium for that. But like I said, you don't.
It's not. It's not hard to understand why they use titanium. They use titanium because they wanted the watch to be light and comfortable on the wrist. They wanted it to be hyperallergenic. They wanted all the benefits of titanium. If somebody wanted a stainless steel watch, they could buy a stainless steel Grand Seiko. Titanium has certain benefits, and if people want it, they're going to buy it. I mean, very bizarre. Let's keep going.
Actually feel the watch on. Now, the case design is classic Grand Seiko, and it really harks back to the Grand Seiko.
And this is totally false, too. If you look at the older Grand Seikos, even the limited editions they came out with that have that other case design that is the classic case design, this design here is a more modern case design. It does not look like the classic Grand Seikos. This is much nicer looking. It's got the flowing lugs and so forth, and the curvature and all. It's completely different than the classic Grand Seikos. So this guy is just like, every point he's making here just about is demonstrably false.
case aesthetics from the 1960s and 1970s. You have these
Yeah, you
really
won't
sort
find a
of quite
1960s or
long
70s
and
that looks like
sinuous
this. They look completely different.
lugs and case flanks.
This looks much
And
nicer
you
than
know,
the
you
older
have
ones.
that slightly sort of angled bezel, the polished bezel that you sort of see there. So for me, the actual case design is an absolute winner. You know, it's really
It is a winner, but it's not.
sort of
It's not like the old
Grand
ones.
Seiko. Now we have Zaratsu polishing, and this Zaratsu polishing is a special type of tin plate polishing that the artisans at the Shinsu watch studio carry out on the actual snowflake, and it's carried out on many different elements of the actual watch itself. Now, a lot has been said about this type of polishing, but if I'm really brutally honest, you know, and I love Seiko, I love
So
Grand
zooming in
Seiko,
there, he's got a little bit of orange peel and all. Yeah, there's a little bit of orange peel if you zoom in at like 20x. I mean, yeah.
what it stands for and the watches that it's produced, and I have a few Seikos in my collection, but I honestly, to be honest with you, I cannot tell the difference, okay, between the polishing on one of these pieces and, for example, on my Rolex Milgauss. Maybe you can, and you know,
Yeah, this guy needs to get his eyes checked. He absolutely needs to get his eyes checked. The Rolex is pretty good, but it's not at this level.
you can leave a comment about it, but you know, I can't really tell. I can tell on the dial, you know, the dial is very apparent and clear that there is a high level of polishing that's been carried out on the dial, but maybe that's just the way that the
I guess he
light
means
plays
the
with
indexes
dial
in the
and
hands because the
sapphire
face
glass.
the dial is not polished.
So I'm not entirely sold on the Zaratsu, on, you know, the case flanks and on the bracelet itself.
And so why did you buy it? Unbelievable. This is just incredible.
Now, the watch itself, it does have drilled lug holes, okay? And
this is even
that,
better.
To me, is an absolute travesty. Okay?
An absolute travesty to have drilled lug holes. A lot of people like to change the bracelet and put a leather strap on it. It's very common on the Snowflake, and it makes it a lot easier to do that. And I think it looks cool to have the drilled lugs. I think every watch should have drilled lugs. I like the classic Rolexes that have the, so you can, you know, get to the spring bars. Travesty? Maybe you don't like it, but I certainly wouldn't call it a travesty. I would call it a good choice. Sounds like Clive might be coming in the house.
Hey, Craig, how are you doing?
Good, good. Clive, I'm dissecting a video, a review or whatever that was released recently about the Snowflake, and this is a cautionary tale for my viewers and subscribers to not pay attention to these so-called experts that are clueless. And so I'm pretty much tearing apart this video. And so let's go through a little bit more. You're going to be able to, well, I don't know if you'll be able to hear it or not. What do you have there?
This is a Rolex GMT black, black, black.
Oh, that's the one you picked up the other day.
Yeah.
All right.
And actually, well, picked up right. It's like box of papers, complete kit. It's less than a year old.
Mm-hmm.
And basically somebody else was short selling it because they were wanting to get into a day-date 40.
I don't blame them.
Yeah. But on the other hand, when, you know, with...
I don't blame you for snagging it.
Yeah. This thing, it looks like new.
Good. Well, that's the way to buy. Absolutely. Buy them right. Buy them in excellent condition.
Buy them under MSRP. This is almost like the old days. Like when used watches...
Mm-hmm.
See, Craig, back in the old days, I understand that used watches cost less than brand new watches at the AD.
Well, and we were getting 20% off a brand new one at the AD, a steal, brand new.
Not anymore.
Yeah. Okay, so let me go through and dissect a little bit more of this, and then I put those watches that you sent me, that list of watches, you want that publicized, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I put it in the description of this video already.
Yeah, and the gold Cartier is sold, and a couple other ones, but yeah, I think the rest of them are still up for grabs.
Okay, so in the description there are a few more of Clive's watches if you guys want to check it out. Okay, so let me go back to this real quick. Can you monitor this as we go?
I'm going to try. I'm trying to pull up the live stream comments as we speak.
Yeah, and I'm going to be talking about this. So let's
Is
go a little
shocking
more.
that they still put drilled
Oh,
lug
by the way,
holes
did
on
anyone watch?
high-end pieces.
Did anyone watch Cowgirls Live?
Okay, so in the description
Oh, sorry.
there.
There we go.
Yeah,
Like this.
so I'm going to
Now,
play this a
for
little
me is
more.
essentially,
That kid
it's
had a
not
shotgun
really
that was
it's sort of
bigger
a
than he
sports watch
was.
in terms of the size that it comes in, but it is quite.
That was I will cut back to you one more time here, but that was an amazing show. I think she did it. I think that was very creative what they did.
It was actually.
Yeah, she just produces these shows herself. I mean, I think it's cool that she's taking the initiative to put a show together every week and do a show.
And she's actually has pretty decent interviewing skills as well.
She's getting better, and I think she's going to be cool. So, okay, let me play a little more of this because there's a couple more points in here that I want to tear apart. Can you monitor this while I play it, so then you'll be able to comment?
Okay, monitor what?
I guess the live broadcast.
No,
Or you can or you can't.
no, I'm not, because if I do that, if I monitor it, then it'll play back.
There's a delay.
Right.
Oh, then I would hear it too.
Exactly.
Okay, so let me just run it, and I'm going to be commenting as it goes along, and you'll hear that.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So
Yes,
let me just go here a little bit more.
Quite a dressy piece with all that polishing. So if it's a dressy piece, why on earth would you put drilled lug holes to really spoil and ruin the lovely sort of case flank that's been created here? I mean, if it didn't have these drilled lug.
So I'll give a little play-by-play here, Clive. So he's talking about the drilled lugs on the Grand Seiko Snowflake and how much of a travesty it is to have, the holes so that you can easily change the bracelet, right? And I'm like, I wouldn't mind having them on a date. I mean, I've got them on my my gold stunner here, my 18 karat gold GS. It's got drilled lugs. Doesn't bother me one bit. It looks fine. That clearly is an opinion thing. Okay, let me keep going
That's
a little more.
preference.
Yeah, that's a preference. Let me keep going here.
Lug holes. I mean, just look how lovely that would actually look. Okay, so in my opinion, it's just been ruined, and it's not the type of watch that I would wear as a strap monster type of watch.
So he wouldn't wear it on a strap,
That's
he's saying, and they look great on a strap.
Cautionary or other very tooly watches that would have that, and ultimately.
Now, how much
Okay,
would
so
you
I'm
pay?
not going to go through the rest of this. You guys can watch it. I mean,
How much, what do you think is a reasonable price for a Grand Seiko Snowflake, like new?
you mean one that's in mint condition that you buy used?
Yes.
4,800.
Well, and the person that sold me this, that's trying to get to the date, is selling one for $5.
That's close.
That's close. He, like I said, look him up on Facebook. His name is Deadly Gaddis. Good guy.
Yeah, if somebody wants one, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, mine sold for a little bit under 5. So yeah, that's about what they sell for used. 46, 4,800 in that range. Okay, so just to give you and then the other thing he did is he trashed the bracelet on the. I mean, he just totally trashed the bracelet on the Snowflake, and you guys can go and watch it if you want to see it. And basically, what he did was he made a point of showing that the bracelet has flexibility in it. And I can't show you on mine because mine's under the other camera right now. My diver has pretty much the same bracelet. And the Seikos have some flexibility, right? Not a ton, but some flexibility, sideways flexibility. And that's built into the bracelet, and that's one of the things that makes them so comfortable. And also, the bracelet is very smooth. All the areas that touch your skin, it's rounded, it's very smooth. I've talked about this before. There's no break-in period. As soon as you put them on, they're comfortable. And this guy's talking about how it's rough and so forth. I mean, he's saying the exact opposite, right? I mean, I've had both Rolexes and this is smooth compared to any Rolex. Everything you touch on the bracelet is smooth, right? And
Right.
I don't know where this guy is getting this information. He's got the thing in his hand. Can't he touch it with his hand and see how smooth it is and how the edges are rounded and polished and so forth? And the detail work in that bracelet is amazing. Now,
Yeah.
I can understand somebody bitching about the clasp. I can understand, and he also bitched about the pins and collars, or as Seiko calls them, I think they call them pins and pipes. Instead of having the screws to resize the bracelet, a lot of people pick on that. And on the titanium watch, they do that for several reasons. And there are benefits to that, which he of course totally fails to mention. And one of the big benefits of, and some Patek Philippe bracelets have the pins as well. And one of the big, and I'm not talking about the press pins that go in, that they're one pin that are friction fit that go in. I'm talking about the pin that goes into the little collar, okay? It's two different things. Well, the pin and collar, it actually floats inside the bracelet. So that when the bracelet pivots, it's not solidly in place like a screw would be. A screw goes into the end link and it's rigid, right? It's not going to move. It's not going to float. Whereas with the pins and collars, the whole pin can rotate because of the way it's designed. And what this does is it gives more flexibility to the bracelet, and it gives less wear and tear on the links because the links are not pivoting against a fixed pin, okay? And one of the big problems with bracelets over time, that stretch, a lot of it sometimes is caused by wear and tear between the pin and the link. So there's a reason for doing this. And he skips through any of that and just says at this price point it should have screws. Just makes a definitive statement, at this price point it should have screws. Well, there are Patek Philippe's that are at a much higher price point that don't have screws. Now, some of them do have screws. And what's happened is a lot of the manufacturers, I think, are going towards the screws. Omega used to use a lot of the pins. Are going towards the screws because everybody bitches about it so much, right? And they don't want everybody bitching about it. Even though the pins might actually be a better solution. So, of course, he didn't tell any of this. None of this is in his video.
You know, it's funny. I had a guy I appeared on my channel a lot. Knowledgeable guy. His name is, let's just call him Han Danes.
Okay.
And he's a real movement. He's like an idiot savant for movements.
Okay.
Ivy League education, minor in engineering,
Yep.
has been a watch fanatic his entire life. But I can't get him on my channel anymore because he's basically given up. He's like trying to convince people on YouTube about the finer points of engineering and watches and horology. He said it would be easier to teach an ant colony to build a space shuttle.
Yeah, the ant colony might be able to pull it off. That might not be a good analogy. I think the ants are smarter than some of the people on YouTube.
That's exactly the point I think he was trying to make.
Now, here's another Brian saying, screws are problematic with titanium and gold bracelets. Hey, my day-date had screws. I didn't have any problem with them. They worked fine. Now, that may be one of the reasons why you get some of that wear and some of that stretch in the bracelet, but I didn't have any problem with the screws failing, like with them stripping or anything like that, right? Obviously, it's easier to resize it and not mess with the pins and collars. It's got a little bit of a pain to do that. But my beef with this guy is, first of all, he's making some statements that just are not true, period. And then he's some where, like, the drilled lugs is a travesty. I don't think I'd go as far as to say it's a travesty. I think that's the wrong word. I think it's something I don't prefer. I would rather not have it, right? But to say it's a travesty, I mean, this is just...
Travesty! When the screws are gone and you can't go on, it's a travesty.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, so anyway, I will put a link to this guy's video in the in the description, and you guys can see it. You guys can find it if you just search. It's a recent video, recent upload, Grand Seiko Snowflake, and just sort by the last week, and if you want to find it now. But I'll put the link in there after I wrap. But I just say, all I'm saying is this is a cautionary heads up. People that don't wear these watches and that are clueless about these watches, and some collectors will fall into this category. If you've got 50 watches, there's no way that you've worn each and every one of those watches for a year. Okay? None of us are going to live that long. So clearly, they can't have had significant day in and day out experience with each and every one of those watches. So,
by the way, while I was at I went back to the AD today, and I actually talked to their new watch repair, their new watchsmith, fresh out of training, okay? Or fairly fresh out of training. And he said, no, he confirmed, he's like, the 36 millimeters, the new 36 millimeter day dates have ceramic pins.
You're sure? You're sure?
He was sure. I asked him specifically.
Well, we need to get confirmation on that, because I've heard the opposite from other sources that supposedly know what they're talking about. Now, here's a perfect example. This is a perfect example where we just don't know at this point. And that's something that's all I'm saying is if you're interested in buying a watch to actually wear, to actually use on a daily basis, and you really want to know what it's like, try to find somebody that actually wears the watch and has worn it for a while and used it and actually used it, and get their opinion. Don't get an opinion from a guy who has 50 watches and maybe wears it once every 6 weeks for an afternoon. Hey. Now, if you're going to get an opinion from Clive, ask him about one of the watches that he wears regularly, okay? That is one of his favorite watches that he wears on a regular basis, and maybe he can give you a decent opinion about that watch. But I'm telling you right now, you can't get an opinion from somebody who just has it sitting in a box in their collection and never wears it. Now, if that's what you're looking to do, is just collect it and put it in a box, and you're not looking to wear it, then fine. This is all a moot point. But I'm talking about if you're actually going to use the watch on a daily basis and you want to know what it's like, try to get some accurate information from somebody who actually wears it and uses it. What do you think about all that, Clivester?
Well, yeah, but get information. I mean, a lot of times, like forums, if the either Watchbox or Rolex forums or whatever is a great place to get information, but still take it with a grain of salt, though, because the squeak wheel gets the grease, and it could be one person's complaining about an issue, and 99 people think it's just fine, so they're not.
And
really,
also make sure you try to figure out what motives anybody might have, if you're voicing opinions, if they might be biased. Imagine that. But when I saw this video, there were so many things in there that were just, totally off the mark. And like I say, I've owned one and worn one. And the last thing you can say about those watches is that they're not comfortable on wrist. My God, the Snowflake is like insanely comfortable on wrist. By any definition, anybody that wears that watch, if they say it's not comfortable on wrist, first of all, I've never heard anybody say that except this guy, right? And so I don't know what they're looking for. The thing's like a feather. It just does not bother your wrist in any way, shape, or form. It just kind of sits there and does its thing. Now, if you want the bulk, if you want a heavy watch on your wrist, clearly that's not the watch to buy.
Right.
That's the selling point of the watch, is that it's light as a feather, right?
That and the dial, though.
Those are the two main things. And that Snowflake, it kind of denotes both, right?
And also the Japanesiness of it.
Well, and that's the other thing. He's like picking apart the quality of the GS, and I'm like, I've never heard anybody say this stuff. I mean, this is like all new information here. All of a sudden, the snowflake is a piece of garbage. I'm like,
Okay,
damn.
I'm going to have to talk to a district attorney. I'm sorry. Let me.
Go for it. Go for it.
Sorry.
Go for it. We're going to talk about my tie because somebody asked about my tie. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to do a video about Archie Patek video with his son. Anyone who live streams from bed and witty tidies doesn't deserve to. Let's see here. I wear all my watches regularly. Just have 12 watches. Yeah, right. I would kill for is the Milgauss too big? A good point. Nothing beats a Daytona. Don still wears okay. Let's see here. Mark Goldberg, Sky Dweller blows away. A platinum Daytona. Let's see if there's anything here that I should address before we get to. Somebody asked about the tie, so we'll talk about the tie. Our Archie video was painful to watch. Well, that's a perfect example of this BS ad that Patek Philippe runs. You know, you're only taking care of it for the next generation. I mean, what are the odds that the next generation is going to give a rat's rear end about that watch? I mean, you better have a better reason to buy that watch than the next generation. First of all, I don't think it's a good idea to spoil the next generation by giving them like a $50,000 watch or whatever. I mean, what kind of message is that? Even if they would want it. They'll probably just take it and pawn it, buy some drugs with it or whatever. Nothing wrong with a well-engineered pin system. I hate when Tim Musser goes against them. Yeah, he doesn't understand the benefits either. They should at least point out the benefits to it. Didn't realize that the bracelet links on the date had threading on them. Well, it has screws to resize it, yes. Let's see here. And a lot of comments in here. Harder to resize the pins, that's why people bitch. Yeah, they bitch. Yeah, they bitch. But there are some benefits to them. Let's see, no hacking just bothers me. Let's see. Pins and collars and no hacking. What are you talking about? The snowflake hacks? I guess you're talking about a different watch. Does this? I think he's broadcasting. What's the fancy microphone? Just trying to get you guys decent audio. That's just out of respect for the listeners. I prefer lug holes on my 2000 Explorer. All across the board. Here's another comment. All across the board bracelets are Seiko's weak point. I mean, I love the bracelet on my Grand Seiko diver. It's fantastic.
But you can't. That's just okay. Okay. That's just that's a statement that's so generic it's almost meaningless.
Well, it's probably somebody that hasn't worn one.
Yeah. And like I said, from Rolex though, of course you've got people talking about comparing the classic bracelets the vintage ones compared to the new ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the new ones are really solid, they're really heavy, they're really rugged. They're not. But on the other hand, they're acting like the old ones are made out of that tissue paper that they wrap Korean ears in.
And there are advantages and disadvantages to either. Right. You could make an argument that the older ones are lighter and more comfortable, and that some of them have the micro adjustments, and some of the newer ones do have the glide lock or whatever where you can micro adjust, but some don't, right? If I had a choice between one that does not have the micro adjustments and the older one that has the micro adjustments, I'd rather have the micro adjustments. That's one of the reasons why I kept my diver. Let's cut to the diver real quick. Is those micro adjustments. I love the micro adjustments on that bracelet, and I like the extension as well. There's the side view of that puppy with the drilled lugs. Thank you. I mean, I wear the watch every day. It's super comfortable, and the bracelet, I love it. Okay, so here's the comment. Nice tie. Are those mallards? Yes, I think they are. And this tie is from 1978. I remember when I got it. And
Dun, 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 dun,
this jacket used to fit absolutely perfect. It's a little bit big in the shoulders now because I've gotten a little bit smaller. I don't do as many push-ups. But I wear it occasionally, and it's a cashmere. It's a very lightweight cashmere. This is from Oxford Clothes, and it was custom made. It has the nice, unbuttonable buttons on the sleeves. The what do they call it? The surgeon's cuff or whatever. So that's the deal there. Okay, so what else? Let's see what other comments are coming in here, and then we'll talk about your watches that are for sale. CraigShip, what do you think of the blue ceramic Grand Seiko 2-ton SB GJ 229G? Blue ceramic Grand Seiko 2-ton.
Which one?
SB.
Oh, Seiko. Okay, I have no idea what that is.
It's a Grand Seiko, yeah.
Sorry, Grand Seiko.
I'm not sure which one that is either, but it's two-tone. That's interesting. Can you do a quick search, Clive?
I can try. Okay.
SB GJ
GJ
229G.
I say again, Sierra Bravo Golf Juliet 229er Golf.
Yes,
Over.
yes. See if it's anything interesting worth showing.
That's nice looking watch. Titanium high beat ceramic.
Really? It's two-tone?
I'm sorry, no, I'm sorry. Blue. It's got looks like it's a blue dial on it. And,
But it's not gold and steel or anything. It's not.
No, but it looks like the ceramic. It looks like the middle links are ceramic.
Oh, so that's the one that has the removable ceramic on the side of the cases and all that? That was the limited edition watch, I think.
Yeah. It's an attractive watch.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it wouldn't be my cup of tea, but it's pretty expensive too. Is that one for sale, Clive?
No, I just pulled it. I just pulled it out basically. So,
Craig, do you prefer post-op or pre-op?
oh, for God's sake! Fry that sucker.
Yeah. Well, I gave you the tools. You got the wrench.
I don't know which comment. I know it's okay. I can't look at the watch and look at the live stream comments at the same time.
Okay, no worries. Take your time.
Thanks. Well, I'm trying to figure out. There's also the never-ending live stream
Yeah.
That's buy drugs. That's the H Mosier bit. Okay. Okay. Now everyone's on here ragging on Archie. Come on, guys. Behave yourself. And guys,
Yeah,
this is
yeah. Please, on
why
this
we
channel, try to act like gentlemen. Some of you.
Guys, this is why we never get invited anyplace nice.
That's right.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Mr. Ship, good point. You can't just take someone's claim on face value. You have to do your own research and come to your own conclusions. But Jay, you can take my word on face value. If I say something, then that's the exception to that rule. Or Clive. If either one of us say something, then you can take it to the bank, and there's that gold stunner on wrist. See that gold stunner? You can take that to the bank. So, all right, let's see what else there is. Let's see. I hate Patek crap, way too elitist. Okay. That's the one thing I'm on. Okay, Archie's, whatever. Let's see here.
Brian LP, Grand Seiko reference numbers are horrible. I have to agree with Brian on that one.
Yeah, they have no clue when it comes to branding or marketing or anything.
it's like ordering a dishwasher from Best Buy.
Yeah, let's make it as difficult as possible for people to figure out what these watches are and for people to find them and people to buy them. Heaven forbid somebody actually buy one. You know, let's make that very difficult. Let's see here. Do you know that my AD, that his number one selling watch after the Snowflake is the diver that I have? And the reason it is because of my videos. That's the only reason. It sells more than all of the others by far because of my videos. So that shows you how bad their marketing is, right? If the only reason they're selling watches is my videos. It is a good watch.
Well, and John Doe is saying, how's Rolex numbering better? Well, at least it doesn't have random letters.
Well, and also they've got names that people can use too.
Yeah.
Now, some of those are slang names, but still.
Yeah.
But still,
And
they've got a
clearly-
date just, right? That they've made for many years, and you kind of know what a date just is, right? You don't have to know the numbers. And that's what Grand Seiko should do, is they should have some core models that they just make year after year, like, for example, the Snowflake. Most people know what that is, and they don't need to know what the model is, right? They should have like a half a dozen models like that. And then they'd be okay, just like Rolex does. Why reinvent the wheel here? Rolex is successful for a reason. They know how to market and they know how to brand. Just do it like they do it. Best practices, right?
Exactly.
Weird thing about titanium GS. First time I put it on, I hated the light feeling, but now I totally love the light. That's it. If you wear the watches and actually use them, you'll realize that they were engineered to be wrist watches. They were engineered to be on your wrist. Imagine that. Custom made. It's ill-fitting. You're talking about the coat. Yeah, it's a little bit loose in the. Like I say, I'm not doing 300 push-ups anymore. So there you go. But I can still wear it. That's what happens when you get old. All your clothes either get loose or they get too tight. One or the other happens. The sands shift in the hourglass. So there's all that. Okay, what else? Any other interesting comments you see there? Because I'm
not really. I mean, there's so many though. It's kind of hard to pick them out though. Blue Shirt Buddha is saying, "Okay, Mom, we'll behave." Thank you. I appreciate that, guys.
14,800 for GS. I guess he's talking about that limited edition piece. Yeah, they have some expensive pieces, and their gold pieces are really expensive. That one he had here was 29,500. That 18 karat gold, it wasn't even on a bracelet. So that was expensive.
And let's see, Brian LP, can you recommend your black for someone with a 6.5-inch wrist? Yeah, I think perfectly so. I think it'd be just fine.
Thomas asked, have I had any interest in the Titan yet? No, and I haven't mentioned it anymore. I just mentioned it on that one show, and it hasn't been advertised anywhere, so I'm happy. If nobody takes me up on my offer, then that means I save a lot of money.
And people are asking if we've seen the new Audemars Piguet dress watch models.
Craig, what's he selling the titanium diver for? Ballpark. You mean what am I selling it for? I offered it at 5,000 in that show the other day. I'll still honor that for, let's say, another week or so, and then the deal's going to be off the table. That's a hell of a deal.
Well, people are asking what I thought about the new AP. It's like code 1159. And I think I know what code 1159 means.
Christopher says, my AD selling GS titanium at retail. They won't give him any discount at all? That's strange. Call Steve. Steve will give you a discount. And you won't pay taxes. If you're out of state, you'll be good. Rolex is exclusive because they won't sell watches to anyone. I don't know what he means by that. Grand Seiko is expensive because no one can figure out that half their watches exist. Well, I wouldn't say Grand Seiko's expensive. I think they're a deal. Is the
For what
GSP
you're getting.
is the GS Peacock worth it versus a Rolex Explorer 2? Well, you got to look at it and make sure the sizing and all is good for you. And that's the biggest thing is the size of the watches and all that. 5K for the GS Diver. Unfortunate nickname Snowflake. I think it's working for them. That watch is their number one seller. See, that's a perfect example where they've branded it a certain way, right? And guess what? It's selling more than any of their other models because people know what it is and they know how to ask for it. I mean, why do you want to make it hard for people to buy your product? Do you think in an alternate reality GS is more? I don't know what that means. Okay. Craig is they keep saying the same thing in here. Have you seen new Artemis Purgay watch models? I would pass on all those.
It's called the code 1159, and I think that's code for they got it done a minute before the deadline. The deadline must have been at 12.
What are your thoughts on limited edition Grand Seiko, the U.S. one with the blue dial? It's nice. I've seen it. It's a nice watch. So that one's stainless steel.
Lester Watch Reviews, give me a 60s King Seiko any day.
Yeah, some of those, the cases aren't that attractive, though. You got to watch it on those older ones. The cases weren't as attractive. They were kind of squared off looking and kind of ugly lugs on them. What's your opinion on Wilson leather jackets? They're usually junk. I would pass on the Wilsons. I'll tell you the best buy in leather jackets, in my opinion, is a Wested leather out of England. They're made in England. And that's who made my Indiana Jones, like bomber type jacket. He makes all those. And I think he still makes them there in England. And they're really a good deal. And you can get them custom made too. So they make sure they fit. Let's see here.
Meanwhile, a nice little sidebar conversation, 2 or 3 going on in the comments.
And the Cockpit in New York, great leather jackets. Yeah, they're kind of expensive. Search for some of those. I've got some of those name brands on my channel. I've got a video of the 5 best bomber jackets on my channel, and just search those brand names on eBay and save the search. And then when they pop in there for a good price, snag them before somebody else does. That's the best way to do it, because you'll get a notification. If you save the search, you'll get an email when the search matches, right, your criteria. And if you jump on it first, I've gotten some real deals that way on audio gear, like microphones and stuff. I'll save a certain model, and then when I see one that seems like it's like new, jump on it. Okay.
Now, crappy watches and cheap horses being snarky. I'm buying a new Toyota next month. I'm going to get the model 113.55.6743.29.000.44. Can't wait.
Absolutely.
Well, actually, crappy, I think you should have got the 113.55.6743.29.000.42. I think that was clearly the apex. I think the 4.3 and the 4.4 it's kind of a letdown comparatively.
So here's a comment. GS is like Tudor. People fall for them and then scramble to sell them. Craig just sold the Snowflake and already listed the Diver, looking for date 840. I don't know that people sell the Tudors. I think they fall in love with the Tudors.
No, they flip the Tudors, oh my God, all the time.
Oh, really? Yeah, they are garbage.
The Tudors, and the Tudor Black Bay and the Rolex, the Omega Speedmaster Man on the Moon is probably 2 of the most flipped watches, I think.
Okay.
Out there.
No, but you're wrong on the GSs, because a lot of people keep their GSs, and I mean for a long time. Go on the Facebook.
I can possibly check the classifieds and the used stuff over here in the flyover states. Never see Grand Seikos.
Yeah.
Maybe like one time.
Yeah, a lot of people keep those. Aero leathers. I'm not sure about that one. I'm buying. Oh, there you already read that comment. I just got me a Thurston Brothers Aero 7 leather jacket. I'm not sure of that one. That might be a good one. What do you recommend for dress boots, cap toe, or wingtip? Well, I don't know that I would wear dress boots. I I have cowboy boots. I have Lucchese
Oh,
boots.
nice. Yeah.
But I don't. For dress, I will just wear regular wingtip dress shoes. I like Church's shoes. Clive wears Allen Edmonds, I think. They're good,
Yeah.
but the Churches, I think, are a little bit of a little step up, especially if you can get the older ones. They were bought out by Prada, I think, but I think they still make them in England. But anyway, the ones that I bought, the custom series Churches, were all made in England, and those really hold up well. I showed some the other day. Let's see here. Very comfortable shoes. I just watched the video. Oh, well, no, okay. I flipped. Craig, what's your choice for sneakers? I don't really wear them anymore. I wear them when I play tennis, and I buy high-end Nike tennis shoes. But no, I don't wear them just casually around. I wear moccasin-style construction shoes. They're extremely comfortable, and they don't smell like Nikes and all those will smell easily. These don't.
For casual, they're funky as hell, but they're called Vibrams. They're the toe shoes, and it's the closest thing to walking barefoot.
Okay.
And people are like, "Are those comfortable?" I'm like, "No, I just wear them because they make me look cool."
Yeah.
Kids love them, though.
Mr. Ship looks like a Sears refrigerator freezer salesman. I don't think they're going to wear an Oxford bespoke sport coat in cashmere. I kind of doubt that. Got somebody calling in. We're in the middle of a live show, and they're going to call in.
Every time. Every time.
Jeez. Wingtip all day. Okay. Did you go to Texas for the boots? Yes, they were custom fitted by Lucchese, and I bought 2 pairs of them. I still own them. I've got they're crocodile, and I've got a pair of ostrich. They fit literally like they were made for me because they work, and they're super comfortable. Let's see. I don't wear them that often, though. I wear them when I go out to the rodeo. The rodeo. Let's see what else we got here. I buy dress shoes at the Fat Man store. Very comfortable. Okay. What's the proper shoe for wearing with a nice business suit? I mean, you can wear just a whole bunch of different. I mean, the beauty of this whole thing is nowadays the standards have been lowered so much that you could probably wear sneakers and nobody would say anything, So if you wear any kind of a halfway decent dress shoe, you're going to be way ahead of the vast majority of everybody else. So get something you like that's comfortable. Get a cap toe. Get a, plain.
When I was younger, I used to wear Doc Marten, not the boots, but the shoes. I kind of got out of that.
Yeah. I'll tell you, if you ever get a pair of shoes made by Russell Moccasin Company in Berlin, Wisconsin, they'll custom make them to your feet. They got a whole bunch of different styles. They are so freaking comfortable, and they give such support, and they're so well made, and they're not ridiculously expensive. They're anywhere from $300 or $400 on up to maybe $800 or $900 if you get some kind of exotic leather.
Right.
But, considering they'll custom make them to your feet, they're not bad. Craig's in suits and listens to country music. He's an agency man for sure, whatever agency man is. Okay. Perfect shoe for the GS wearing guy. By the way, if you search shoes on my channel, I've got a whole bunch of videos showing a whole bunch of shoes that are real comfortable, that'll last a lifetime, that you'll enjoy, and some of which you'll be able to pick up. Like I say, if you're smart and you do some searches on eBay, I bought a pair of Captain's Oxford's Sperry Captain boat shoes or whatever they call them. New in the box. New in the box. Made in Maine. You know, really nice for a fraction of what they should have cost. Craig, are bolo ties considered lower class? Is that the Western style ties?
Yep.
I think that'd be cool if you were going to like a rodeo or something. Yeehaw. Or if you were watching Cowgirls live. Does Rolex have their bracelets made in China like Omega does? I don't think so. Some of the Jubilees were made in the USA. My first watch I bought had a Jubilee on it that was made in the USA. Oh, by the way, this guy, this troll, put a comment on one of my Date 8 videos of my 18238, you know, saying that it was a counterfeit, a fake.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, exactly. Now, how do you know this? This watch that I bought new, full box and papers from the AD. How exactly did you know this? I'll tell you what, if it was a fake, I told him, I said, if it was a fake, it was a damn good one. Damn good. I wonder if they make Date 8s fake that are that good. That, I mean, just
because yeah, the weight. I mean, they'd have to put a lot of gold in. There's no
well,
way.
there's only about, in those older ones, there's only about 2.5 ounces of gold. So that's only, what's it now? 1,400 bucks. That's only like maybe three grand worth of gold. 4 grand.
I still don't think they would go through that much expense to make it.
Yeah, because they'd have to get like what, 5 grand for it to sell it.
Right.
And probably nobody would pay that for a fake.
Not a problem. I've also got the alarm going. I've got to pull a steak out of the sous vide here pretty quick.
Well, there you go. All right, so let's go over your watches that are for sale. Somebody says the weight is the hard part. You could probably use lead and plate it real good.
Yeah,
Something like that. Okay, so what watches do you have for sale?
Let me. That's that's my.
Is that one for sale?
No. This is the one I just got. Come on, where's
what better time to sell it than when you just got it? Got to keep the economy going here. Got to keep things in motion.
Okay, like I said, the Cartier Gold Tank is sold. I've got the Cartier Pasha.
Mm-hmm.
Automatic movement, date at 4:30. That's $900. The Longines Admiral, authentic diver from the 80s, nice, glorious patina. $700 plus shipping. Longines bracelet, Longines clasp. The Sigma, it's a Calatrava style. It's got a French FEF movement. It was recently serviced. Solid gold, $700 plus shipping.
Yeah, that's a nice watch. That's a hell of a deal.
Yeah. And there's the back of it.
You guys that are complaining that you don't have a gold stunner, there you go. There's your opportunity to have a gold stunner.
That's the Leonidas triple date moonface, and of course Leonidas was by the same people that did Hoyer. Basically, they were bought by Hoyer early on. And this one's getting a lot of attention, a lot of inquiries. 600 plus shipping, and it's the back. It's stainless steel. It's not plated. Or Omega Seamaster Cosmic, semi-integrated bracelet, also recently serviced. 900. Oh, what the hell? 900 plus shipping.
The comments are really, these people have no style. I'll tell you what, some of these people.
No, there's this one's actually the Esca. That's a bit of a smaller size, but look at the detail on the dial. Glorious blue dial, red secondhand. Esca was made by one of the made by one of the chief designers at Cartier, and he went to Germany, did this whole thing. 300 plus shipping.
Mm-hmm.
And then a Bredix chronograph with the Lamagna movement. 2 register. That's I think it's like 36 millimeters. And that's not water damage. That's the top coat, the top paint, discoloring with age.
Yeah.
And you'll notice the dial has 3 colors on it.
Yep.
And that one is 600 plus shipping.
There you go. Some deals for you folks.
Oh, when I was at the Rolex AD, the Rolex ADs apparently are getting some stuff in. Well, there's mine. However, they had this one in. That's the new Batman.
Oh, wait, who had that?
The AD.
In stock?
In stock, but there's a list.
Okay.
And the list is a thick list. Oh, my God.
So it's the first one that comes in that they call gets it? Is how
pretty much. They go through the list.
Gotcha.
Is
that the Date 840?
That's the Date 840. They got that one in today.
Is that on your wrist?
That's on my wrist.
Wow. Tell me, come on, give me details. How was it?
It was nice, solid. It wasn't as heavy as I was expecting it to be, but love the legibility. I'm not that big of a fan of Roman numerals.
Neither am I.
Yeah.
I would not go that direction, but so do you think
also,
it would probably even be more legible? Go back, wait, don't move by the date so fast, for God's sakes. It would probably be even more legible with that black dial we were talking about, with the hands with the loom and everything.
And the honeycomb.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Now, what would you say would be, how, on a scale of 1 to 10 for legibility, would you say that like if a Submariner's a 10, how would you rate that watch?
I'd say an 8.
So definitely something you and I could read without our readers on.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, man, you're going to cost me money, Clivers.
And then finally, this is the Red Sea Dweller.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and when I mean Red Sea Dweller, I mean it's not just for Jewish people; it's for Gentiles as well.
Yep.
Even though Mark Goldberg doesn't really love his, now I think of it. Anyway,
Okay.
Sorry, that's beside the point. Now this one came in, and there's only one person on that list.
Mm-hmm.
If I've said I can get the next one at MSRP.
But do you want it?
Thinking about it, it is an attractive watch, but it's kind of close to the, hell. What's it really? I'd have to be saying, oh, is this one the Sea Dweller? Or is this one the GMT again?
Yeah, I don't think you need any more heavy stainless steel watches. I think you need to go with the Date 840. So give me your full impression of the Date 840. Don't hold anything back.
No, it was attractive watch. It was stylish. It was well made. I didn't wind it. I didn't. I just had it on my wrist for a couple minutes and looking. I was afraid. I was almost afraid of since it's not my watch, but really nice. A lot of wrist presence.
Is it stunning?
I would say so. Yes.
What about the clasp?
Clasp is wonderful.
Works great.
Yeah.
It's not fiddly.
What's also nice about a 7.5-inch wrist, I'm like the Rolex default standard, so I can go in any Rolex.
Just try it on.
Yep.
As long as all the links are in it. Yeah.
Yep.
So that one you wouldn't have to buy any new links.
Nope.
Okay, so talk to me about the clasp one more time. It's not like fiddly. I mean, it's not.
No.
It just
solid.
Just works great.
Snap.
And you don't think it's going to come unsnapped easily?
No, not at all.
Well, you're going to end up costing me money, big guy. I think that's the way to go. If you want a stunner, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the day date, but I almost think with the right combination, a day date 36 would work too.
You looked at both?
Yes, but the only one they had was a champagne dial, and screw that.
Can you try to get some sources and confirm that ceramic thing?
I will. I know what I'll do. I'll ask what's this is the kid.
Mm-hmm.
He's the brand new, fresh from Rolex training.
Mm-hmm.
I will talk to the Wattsmith, the old fart at the other location.
Okay. Because I'm wondering how they would even know. I don't think you can see them, can you?
No, they've worked on any, of course, if they've sized one, they'd have to know, wouldn't they?
So you think when you take a link out, you can see it? You think it's visible?
I think it'd have to be.
Interesting. I want the facts on this. This could be breaking news here. I mean, everybody has said that it's only on the date 840.
Well, we'll see. We'll have to get some other sources on
The
it.
other thing we need to find out, if it is in the 36, is when they put it in there.
Right.
Because then that opens the door up for buying a used 36. Let's say they put it in the same year, 2015.
Here's it. I don't know. Something tells me they normally, like all watch dealers, they put it in the flagship first,
Mm-hmm.
and then it filters down to the less exclusive, the less expensive models. So
Well,
they may have only done it the last year or something.
this
Who
is
knows?
definitely something we need to try to find out. And we also need to try to find out if they've put it in any of the other models.
Right.
If it's in like a gold GMT.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
So they might have trickled it into some of those other bracelets, maybe even some of the Jubilees in solid gold.
Correct.
Replace bracelet with a rubber strap.
No.
So basically what you're saying is you think that the date 840 could be the way to go, but you're not 100% sure at this point.
I think it's got some strong possibilities. Sorry.
How strong?
Very strong. Well, also,
So if you liquidate a few more steel stunners, you think you might be a player for a date 840.
right.
Damn.
No, also, I've also talked, if you Instagram message Lux 918 LLC on Instagram, that is the person that's what's the word I'm thinking of? Consigning my watches.
Okay, so here's the deal. I've heard there's a so-called watch expert called Clive who prefers Rolex to GS and doesn't even own Bitcoin. Well, here's the thing. We can't, you can lead a horse to water, but they won't always drink. Sometimes they drop dead, I mean, that's just the way it works. But Clive will time the bottom and will buy a couple of Bitcoin when they hit bottom.
And then smack it.
And then ride it right on up to the top.
Right at the bottom? That's not really my thing.
Here's the problem with trying to time the market is nobody knows when it's going to bottom out. And I know you're not a bottom feeder, you just said, but it is what it is. I think every millionaire.
I'm not a bottom rider.
I think every millionaire should have at least one Bitcoin because they're not all going to be able to have one Bitcoin. We talked about that in a previous show. Somebody says, F the date 840. I have a day date 214. What's a day date 214?
No idea.
Is Craig a cop? Far from it.
Are you a cop? You have to tell us if you're a cop, right?
I guess.
No, you don't. You totally don't have to know.
Yeah, that's the bullshit, right?
Right, that's complete.
And there I go cussing on my own channel. Is 20% a good interest rate on a loan for Daytona?
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Geez. About 60%. I'm trying to find out if there's anything worthwhile in here to comment on, but it doesn't seem to be the case.
A DD-214. Oh, I know that sound familiar. Military discharge papers.
Okay.
Derp, derp, derp.
Hey, this idiot Chip Wong, I mean, he's an idiot by any measure. He says, I'd rather buy all of Clive's vintage Essers instead of one Bitcoin. Well, there you go. Here's your chance.
Yep.
You can probably
CliveWatchWrangler@gmail.com.
you can probably buy them all for the price of one Bitcoin. Pretty close. Sorry, what ceramic thing are we talking about now? The sleeves and the gold date and the bracelet to keep them from wearing as much.
Do you guys like the white OP39? Yeah, it's a nice watch.
I have a Sky Dweller. You will love it. You can understand Rolex numbering. Yeah, right. Clive can. He's the man. Be like 20 to 40 people here.
Guys, come on, be cool.
So they say everybody's here because you're here. Of course everybody's here because he's here. I know that. I understand that. Yes, microwave on super high, whatever that. Remember to mortgage your house for the wristwatch. Well, most of these guys don't have a house, so they don't have to worry about that. Craig, will you consider a day date with any other dial than black? I'm thinking about legibility, so I'm going to have to look at them and see which is most legible. That's my reasoning on that.
Right.
So if a white dial with gold indices,
contrast.
You know, I don't know what's the most readable. It might be the black with the gold. Chip Wong is a idiot savant. Okay, well obviously he's an idiot. Craig, a new day date 40 is anti-watch flipper. Just saying. I'm not sure what that. If I bought a day date 40, it would probably be a lifetime watch. I mean, it'd probably be my last day date. I've owned, let's see, 4 so far, and that'd probably be the 5th. That'd be it. New or old? Actually, I think I've only owned 3. Let's see. I had the conventional clasp, and then I had 2. No, I've had 4 total. Because counting the white gold one. New or old dial GS? Well, I like the GS at the top.
And Thomas Burnett likes the green dial, James. I mean, the green dial. And if it's depending on the shade of green, it could also have not as much contrast with the black and the gold, but it could have a lot.
Yeah. Which Rolexes are you keeping? I mean, you probably don't know at this point which ones you're keeping, right, Clive? Or do you know?
A couple. This one is a strong contender. I've got a Kermit and my oldie Goldie.
Hey, Kitty, the troll Kitty. Kitty's not. Yeah, Kitty's not very bright either. Kitty says Bitcoin's going to go to 0. Damn, I'll be able to buy a ton. Yeah. Will it be actually 0, Kitty? How would it get to actually 0? That'd be pretty amazing. Even I'd be happy if it just got down to 1 penny. I'd buy a ton of them. And I think there are a lot of people that are in my position, so I don't think it's going to get down to a penny. Man, some of these people are so stupid. Let's see.
I can't stand the green dial and the rose gold day date. It's like mixing avocados and chocolate.
I agree. First of all, I wouldn't go with the rose gold. You got to pay more for it, and I think the regular gold looks better. The one you tried on was the regular gold, right?
Yep.
Don't you think that's the way to go?
No, Jumbo Shop has the green dial day date for $24.95 mil. 36 millimeter. No.
Craig, would you consider day date if it's in a different language? Probably not. Probably not. Date 8 is an heirloom piece. Hey, trust me, your heirs aren't going to give a damn about the watch.
No.
If they can liquidate it and get, get some cash, that's what they'll do. Let's see here. We like both you guys. I think you're lying. I think you just like Clive.
No, they like to troll the host. Every channel they do.
Well, this Chip said something about bans from your channel. This Chip Wong, the idiot, was he banned from your channel or something?
No, he is not. I did throw a couple. I had a couple of people finally just get to my, finally get
Should
to
we
my.
give Chip a timeout?
Nah.
No? Okay. Let's see here. I personally can't stand the green dial. Okay, you already read that. Anything that I've missed that we should talk about before we go?
No, not really. I think that's yeah.
Okay, so FryTube says 3.2K was the bottom for BTC, Moon next. I don't think 3.2K is the bottom. I think we're going to have another big pullback before we have our next run. I'm hoping we have another big pullback before next because I've got some powder dry ready to buy some more. I'm looking for $1,275. You guys can write it down. I'm looking for $1,275 as the bottom. And hopefully it'll happen in April. Here's the timeline on this, Clive. Historically, big run-ups have happened going into a halving. Okay? The next halving is going to happen in around May or June of 2020. And usually it happens about a year before the halving is when the run-up starts. So that's going to be about May or June of this year. So we should hit a bottom like in April or something like that. And then our big run should start in May-ish, May, June, somewhere in that time frame. And then we should have a big push from there to an all-time high if everything goes as it has in the past. And then we'll have the halving, and then we might have another pullback, 6-8 months or whatever after that, another bear market, and then repeat the process on a regular basis. So that's what we're doing there. Serious question: what do you insure your watches with, homeowners or other company? Do you insure your watches, Clive?
Yes.
How do you do it?
Well, actually through USAA.
Okay, there you go. Thomas Burnett, be polite to her brother, has a shotgun and knows how to use it.
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with those folks. There's just something that tells me that would be a low percentage play to mess with any of them. My call is Bitcoin just below 2,500, then a major run-up.
Oh, Michael Smith, you suck. You suck. Congratulations. Sorry. He just got a rose gold Tonda, Parmigiani, like solid rose gold Tonda for $5,000 full kit.
Mm-hmm.
Nice job. Good fisting.
There you go.
Yep.
Can we get a picture? See if he can text you a picture you can share.
Well, we can actually just use this thing called the internet and just pull up the.
Okay. We got the internet working for us, huh?
Yeah, actually, you might want to look into it.
I'm thinking of adding the new GS GMT 9F. Yeah, that's a hell of a watch. That's a hell of a watch. Nice and thin. I just bought one.
It comes either with it either comes with a white dial or a black dial, and it kind of makes me think of like an H Mosier and C Endeavor small seconds.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me see if I can pull up the.
Well, now Kitty's got it right finally. You know, sometimes Kitty gets it right. Clive equals pure class. Craig equals pretentious with no substance. There you
Oh,
go.
come on, guys, that's cruel.
No, I think that's accurate.
Anyway, there is the Parmigiani Fleurier.
Wait, we're not seeing it. We're seeing
Really?
we're seeing your thumbnail, I think. I don't think we're seeing the screen share.
Well, then it's probably not going to work. Anyway, Google Parmigiani Fleurier Tonda 1950.
Okay. Okay, I've been seriously looking at Tudor. Oh my gosh.
And my
Please,
camera is out.
please do not do Tudor. Mega watches are not GS, so they're ugly and cannot buy them with Bitcoin.
All right. Craig, my computer's acting up. I'm going to have to A, take my leave of you, and B, have some dinner.
I hear you. I don't blame you one bit. Thank you for stopping in.
Thanks for having me.
And folks, his watches, some of the descriptions are in the description in the video.
And by the way, I really enjoyed Cowgirls Live last night.
I think she does a great job.
I think so too.
And I think it's going to get better each week. And I think those of you that want a little change of pace, somebody put a comment on it. Where's the watches, you know? I'm like, you think every video has to be about watches? Come on, people. You got to broaden your horizons a little bit. Every video doesn't have to be about watches, folks.
Right. It's better than horizoning your broads.
That's right. All right, carry on, Clivester. Thanks for stopping in.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
There you go. All right. So there, the Clivester's gone out of the house, so we'll lose all the viewers right now. We're going to wrap up here pretty soon anyway, but let's show off the diver. Look at that stunner. Is that amazing or what? Look at that second hand just marching around. And by the way, I've had it off wrist all day. I've been wearing the gold stunner all day long, and you can see on the power reserve there, the power reserve is down just a little bit. I mean, this thing, they say 3 days, but, you know, it's at least 3 days that it'll run without having any activity. Every video has to be about GS and Bitcoin. There you go. Bitcoin. Okay, before we wrap, folks, put in the comments, there's a side view of that puppy. Put in the comments if you own Bitcoin now or are planning on owning it in the near future. When I say near future, like in the next 30 days. Put a comment in the chat. Let me know in the chat. And I know there's a delay, so there's going to be a delay on this poll that we're doing. $20. Can't get over how gorgeous that bezel is. You mean on the diver? Yeah, it looks pretty good. Everybody bitches that it's not ceramic, but it looks damn good. And by the way, I banged the watch pretty good today. And it held up fine. This morning, before I took it off, I was like half asleep when I got up and I banged it into the door handle or whatever. That's the problem with door handles being at watch height. Have you had an offer on the Titan? No. Nobody has stepped up for the Titan. It's still in-house, and I'm not really talking about it anymore. Buying watches is for 40-year-old and up with too much money and now too much time chatting about it. Yeah, you should be well-heeled financially before you buy an expensive watch. The last thing you should buy is a watch. You should buy everything else first. Have Bitcoin. There's somebody has Bitcoin. My brother owns Bitcoin. There you go. I plan on owning even more. There we go. Neither. I won't invest in what I'm not 100% knowledgeable on. Go ahead and research it. I've got information on my website. Go to my website and click on the More menu. Click on Downloads, and I've got a bunch of information there. You can research it. Me neither. I won't invest. Okay, I just read that. They have Daytonas at my local Costco a year or two ago. Oh, a year or two ago. Peace out. Chip is gone. Okay. Chip Wong is gone. Never got real coins made out of gold. Okay. Kitty's not real bright, so we know that. Are you planning to sell the Titan? Why do people keep asking all these questions? You're not going to buy it, so why are you asking? I bought 2 months ago when it plummeted. Wait 4 to 6 months. You think the bottom's going to be in 4 to 6 months? I think you might be. Who knows? But I think you might miss the bottom if you wait that long. Yeah. We all got Bitcoin. Dirtiest thing he said. I own Bitcoin, Ethereum. Oh, get rid of those trash coins, those junk coins, altcoins. They're junk. I've been buying Bitcoin since 2011. Good move, Dan. Have a strong hand and hold. Have a strong hand and hold. I'll buy your Titan. Yeah, right. Send me an email if you want to buy it. My name at gmail.com. CraigShip, spring drive accuracy. They're under promise. The movement overperforms. Mine is very accurate. I own BitConnect. Yeah, I hope you don't. Those don't buy scams, folks. I own real estate. I don't trust Bitcoin as far as. Yeah, but you might miss out, Yankee Doodle. You might miss out. Well, actually, you've already missed out. If you would have bought it a few years ago, you'd be sitting pretty right now. No Bitcoin. Let's see here. For the guy wanting a Sky Dweller. Year old, give you a good price. Okay, that one's hidden. Because that guy might be a scammer. Anyway. Craig, what do you think of the tag here? I wouldn't buy anything like that. Let's see. Take all your children Rolex money and buy Bitcoin. There you go. Good. That'd probably be a good move. Bitcoin is modern day tulip. Not really. It's been around 10 years, Kitty. So that's another stupid comment we can chalk up to you. It's simple. Oh, there we go. What is Bitcoin? There you go. I own Bitcoin and plan on more. There you go. What sort of watches do the judges? And okay, well, he's gone. Sorry, Bitcoin is smoke and mirrors. So that might be true. Well, time will tell the tale on that. Read about Bitcoin on Craig's site, like he said. Yep, I got some good information there on it. I have all my money invested in World of Warcraft. Okay, there you go. Already have some Bitcoin, thinking about getting more. Paul says Russia will default on their debt in our lifetime. Okay, that might be good. Not bottom, but a slow climb up. It will be flat for several months. Good way to sell the watch, Craig. I banged it up. I wear it every day. I don't baby any of my watches. I've been very clear about that. It's still in really good shape. It's got a few little small scratches on it, but it's in very good shape. Kitty is not a real bright. Yeah, Kitty. No, Kitty is not very bright. I thought you were a lib. Okay, I'm telling you guys, Bitcoin is going up. Well, there you go. There's a tip for you guys. If you can't predict this. Okay, Bitcoin is going up. The dollar and other fiat money is going down. Well, there you go. Have a good night. There you go. Chip is out of the house. Experts say a recession is coming in the next 18 months. Wonder what Bitcoin is going to do then. Who knows? Who knows? I'm a long-term thinker. I'm not worried about 18 months. I'm worried about 5 years, 10 years, that sort of thing. Craig, Chip blew you a kiss. There you go. Bitcoin is a scam? Okay. We'll find out. Time will tell the tale on that. Who has lower energy, CraigShip or Jeb Bush? Hey, that's a good question, too. All right, folks. I think that's it. So Bud says he's not a scammer. Okay, he's not a scammer. All right, folks. Subscribe, click the bell, all of that. If you want to buy some of those watches, buy them from Clivester. But I'm absolutely a hodler, absolutely. But hey, don't listen to these so-called watch experts that are clueless, okay? It's not good to listen to those folks. So here we go. There's another shot of the GS spring drive diver just marching right along, just smoothing right along. There's the side view. And there's the gold stunner on wrist. Look at that puppy. Don't tell me that 18 karat gold doesn't rule. There's the clasp, 18 karat gold clasp. With that 9F movement, it's spot on accurate. So that was a hoot. Craig, I have to say, I really appreciate your attention to detail in the production of these chats. Trying my best to give you guys reasonable quality. There are a lot of garbage streams out there, so I'm trying to give you reasonable quality. Talking about yourself, Craig, the clueless. Talking about yourself. I'm not sure what Kitty is saying. Kitty's not real good with the English language, so there you go. All right, everybody, I'm going to stop this broadcast, and I will see you guys sometime soon. I'm not sure when. Carry on, everybody. Hey, remember, if I don't talk to you before then, Monday night at 10, Cowgirls Live.